This is part 2 of my session with my nephews. I'll say it again. This is the age of Aquarius. During this age, nephew, all that was hidden will now be revealed to you and everyone else in the world. I need for you to be conscious of the things that you will see during the coming months and years. Now, I have told you before, the United States of America is at war with America, and it always has been. This is another of those things, much like your origins, that some know but refuse to bring you into the light. Well, that is why your Uncle Anael is here, to bring you the light. To bring you the light. There is no reason for this kind of selfishness. And believe me, my people understand selfishness. We were forbidden to even go into the temple to worship our God. And no people can be as bad as that when their God tells them not to even go into the temple to worship him. So we kind of know all about that. However, for you to be the best of what you can be and should be as an amalgamated Moor, understand that this land that we love, our America, it has always been under threat. Think, nephew. What kind of so-called government would impose such oppressive sanctions against its people? Tell you the answer I get. No government that actually cares for its people, or a government that actually serves its people, would do that. Do I need to tell you who would? Many of you are my fraternity brothers. We belong to the largest fraternity in the world, and that is the Fraternity of Veterans. And what most of you should know, especially if you come out of the Vietnam era, such as myself, then what you know is the only time, it's just like wearing those fatigues off base. You couldn't do it when I was in the military and you were stateside. You did it in occupied lands. Take a look around, brothers, sisters of the fraternity. When you see these young soldiers today, you see them in clothes we couldn't even think about wearing off base here in the world. Now, could we? Could we? You better have on your blues or your tans or your dress or something, but you could not walk off that base in no goddamn fatigues. Take a look around you. Does it not tell you that America is being occupied? Do you think, nephew, that all of this rash of police murders, kicking in doors without warrants, pulling the trigger, killing innocent people, do you think this is all an accident? Nephew, it is part of the program. It is to slowly demonstrate to the citizenry, while it may look to the citizens as if the police are out of control, they are only obeying the newest policies that policy enforcement agencies have received. That's all you have to do. Start connecting the dots. Start connecting the dots. Now, what some of you are going to think is there ain't no way in hell that a U.S. soldier will pull the trigger on an unarmed American civilian. Brother, let me take you back to Kent State University in Morocco. It's now called Ohio. But let me take you back to what happened at Kent State. And let me tell you the lesson that should have been learned from what happened at Kent State. In Kent State, there was a war protest among the students. The National Guard were called in. Unarmed teenage students. They were fired on. And 4 of them were killed. So, I want you to dig this, nephew. However insidious and however unthinkable you think the United States could not perform, think again. It has been at war with you ever since it started flying its commercial banner, which is, of course, the red, white, and blue, which was, at the time, treaties were signed. One of the basic tenets of that treaty was the United States would not fly our enemy's colors. And our enemies at that time was Britain and the Church of Rome. And what color is its banner of commerce? Connect the dots, nephew. At any rate, these seemingly out of control police kicking in doors and murdering innocent people and families, it's just a part of the program. Now, what the United States knows, nephew, is you ain't trying to give up your guns. My advice to you is you keep your weapons. That's guaranteed to you in the Constitution for the United States. Never mind that bogus-ass Constitution of the United States, because that's just a lying-ass piece of paper. Came out, was shoved down people's throats in 1871. That is not the Constitution for the United States. It is, just as it says across the top, the Constitution of the United States, which is not the same document that this little bistro corporation was founded on. Not the same document. And since you are voters, speaking of that document, this is what I want you to do, because you are activists. You are activists. What I want you to do is you make it known and you make it damn clear to any politician running in any race, anytime, anywhere, that you'll threaten to withhold your vote until, especially your Congress, your congressional, or your legislative representative. I can't even use the word Congress. Hasn't been a Congress here since 1775. That's a legislature. But at any rate, you communicate to your legislator that you are going to withhold your vote until they bring out the organic and original Constitution for the United States. In one of my prior videos, I demonstrate Abraham Lincoln's 13th Amendment with 20 sections, which will only be found in the Constitution for the United States. Look at the 13th Amendment in the Constitution of the United States. It only has 2 sections. The original Constitution for the United States has Abraham Lincoln's 13th Amendment with its 20 sections. And as I told you before, nephew, some of you all who had slave-holding ancestors during the time of the African slave markets and that sort of thing, you're owed money. You are owed money. But the first thing you have to do is you have to get your legislators' attention. And you get it by informing them that you're going to withhold your vote until they bring out the Constitution for the United States. Now, this is what you can do as a collective because you're good at this. You're good at this. And this is simply one of the ways that we need to begin thinking and operating as one American unit. Because we are Americans, we are not staters. Staters are those who are citizens of the United States. And the United States is found only one place, and that is on the Eastern Seaboard. That's it. The United States is not America. You need to understand that, nephew. And if you're going to keep your rifles and your pistols and your shotguns and shit, you stand ready to defend America. Fuck the United States. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? I will give you again the language of flags. And for even my fraternity, brothers and sisters, maybe even you never knew this. When a flag flies this way, because flags have a language, when a flag flies that way, what it is saying is, we are at war. When a flag flies perpendicular to the earth, what that flag is saying is, we are at peace. When a flag flies backwards, what it is saying is, we are a nation in distress. Now, nephew, another thing that I want you to do, when you see these kids walking around in America in their combat fatigues, I want you to look at that patch on their left arm. What you're going to see is that banner of commerce, only the field of blue is on the right-hand side. It is saying something. It is speaking the language of flags. And the United States is at war with America. These seemingly out-of-control cops, they're not out of control. They are following the program. When they strike enough fear into the general citizenry, and how any American can do that to another one is still a great mystery to me. Because whatever the fuck they paying me in that paycheck, it will never compensate for the sleepless nights or the one day when the shit that I did because of fucking orders and a goddamn paycheck comes back and keeps your ass from sleeping for the next 20 fucking years. Then you ask yourself, what the fuck was it worth? Putting other Americans through bullshit for a paycheck? For a goddamn paycheck? You would pull the trigger on another goddamn American in a time of peace? And for those of my nephews who wear badges, I'm talking to you. How the fuck do you do that? How the fuck do you do that? Another goddamn American. Fuck his skin color. He's a goddamn American just like you. He's Asiatic more. Your ass is amalgamated more. Give a fuck whether you like it or not. You can't change nature, motherfucker. You can't change nature. And your goddamn nature nowadays is that of an amalgamated Moorish fucking American. That's who the fuck you are today. 800 years here, you think, what, you still think you a goddamn European? Don't be foolish, motherfucker. Don't be foolish. You're goddamn Moor now. You're a goddamn Moor. Just like we became Spanish Moors when we conquered Spain and we stayed there for 800 years. We were Spanish Moors because we had become amalgamated by the Spanish land. Same goddamn thing happened to you, whether you want to fucking face it or not. It's your own goddamn arrogance and ignorance that prevents you from doing so. Open your goddamn mind. You are just as fucked up as your Asiatic aunts and uncles are. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. You need to begin being many people of one mind. You are under attack. You are under attack. And this program, whereby the police kick in your doors, and then they find out after your ass laying up in the funeral parlor, there was the wrong house, wrong people. None of this shit is an accident. I'm telling you now. The only accident that I have seen, which was a true accident, although it wasn't entirely her fault, was Amy Geiger. Her panties was getting so wet and her ass was so hyped up on going down on her fucking partner, she didn't even realize she missed the fucking floor she lived on. She's a woman. You gotta give her that. You don't penalize her for being a woman. You punish her ass for fucking up like she did, but you don't penalize her for being a woman. She's a woman doing a man's job, which she ain't got no motherfucking business doing in the first goddamn place. And then to carry all of that feminine emotional baggage and bullshit, which is what it becomes when you're doing a job like that. Which is what it becomes a goddamn liability to a man. And that was no better evidenced than when she walked in that innocent man's house and fucking shot him dead. Now, if that doesn't prove that that's not a job for a woman, I don't know what the fuck does. It's as stupid as giving a woman a goddamn M16 and sending her into combat with men. You're looking to get a lot of boys killed. You're looking to get a lot of boys killed. I had just come back home, went to school, psychology class, had this fresh-faced 18-year-old would-be fucking feminist. We were talking about gender roles. And this fresh-faced fucking kid who just learned to piss straight yesterday raised her hand and said out loud in that goddamn classroom, I think women would do just as well as men in combat. I raised my hand, the professor excused me, and I had to leave the goddamn room. I had just come out of combat. You know ain't no way in the fuck I'm gonna sit there and listen to that bullshit from a girl who ain't never been nowhere beyond her motherfucking front door. You know I couldn't listen to that shit. I couldn't sit there and listen to it. She's spouting that Gloria Steinem bullshit and ain't never seen a day's worth of motherfucking combat. And if she had seen a day's worth, she'd need therapy for the rest of her goddamn life. But I digress. You are under attack. You're under attack. You maintain your weaponry and you prepare to protect all Americans. Ain't got time for your motherfucking prejudices now, because you're all in the same goddamn boat. And that motherfucker's sinking fast. And to my brothers and sisters of the fraternity, you're gonna have to treat it just like you did when you was across the pond. It didn't matter what fucking color a man was. What you knew was you weren't gonna leave him. Same goddamn mindset has got to apply. And that is to every American. Because you already know that most Americans, they have always looked to the government to save them. The same government that's been fucking them over and fucking them around for hundreds of years. You know they're looking for that government to save them from the shit that the government has put them in. And you know goddamn well they're gonna need somebody because they can't protect themselves. They lack everything to survive what's coming. And you don't. You don't lack any of that shit. You got the heart. You got the loyalty. You got the fucking patriotism. You got the tools. Your job is to protect other Americans. That's your job. That's your job. Just like over there, skin color don't fucking matter. It don't matter. I hate Mexicans. Motherfucker, you pulled Rios out that goddamn river with 2 bullets in his leg, didn't you? You didn't leave him there, did you? The same mindset is going to have to apply. You are going to have to be America's militia. The U.S. Army and U.S. Navy and the U.S. Air Force have all been co-opted by the fucking United States. Your brothers, cousins, fathers, uncles, aunts, they now work for the goddamn church. Let me share this with you, nephew. Have you ever seen the banner for the District of Columbia down in Washington, D.C.? Let me describe it to you. Go to the internet and look it up so that you can see it. What you will see is it will be red, white, and blue, the colors of our enemies. It'll be red, white, and blue. And it's going to have 3 stars on it. Let me tell you what those stars represent. The first star represents the church, control of the masses through religion. The second star is the British Crown, control of the masses through money. Now they've achieved these 2 things. The third red star in that banner of Washington, D.C., that third red star, that symbolizes control of the masses through military might. That means the only thing left for a dissenter is to incur the wrath of the church's USMC, United States Military Corporation. It does not mean fucking United States Marine Corps. It is just what the fucking company name is, United States Military Corporation. Otherwise, it would have a period behind the U and the S. Those periods connote that it is a product that came out of the Union through the Treaty of 1787, and the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy. They were sanctioned by Emperor Muhammad Bey. And they belong to the Republic. They belong to the Republic. The USMC, it is devoid of periods because it is a wholly owned company by the United States of America Corporation. That is why it has no periods. Because it is the United States Military Corporation. Now, it was co-opted by the United States. Both of those entities, or all three of those entities with U period S period, they've been co-opted by the United States. Now, as sad as it is, because during the days when I was in uniform, do you know I would rather stand before a fucking court's martial than pull the trigger on an innocent, goddamn unarmed American? I didn't do that overseas. Fucking villager? You know, an unarmed villager. I'm not going to pull the trigger on him. I'm not going to do that. Not even under orders. Fuck you. You see, because once I get out of this fucking uniform, I still got to live with me. And I'm going to have to answer for the shit that I did because you fucking said so. Because you got some bird shit on your shoulders. I'm not doing that. The people I cannot speak for are the young people in uniform today who grew up on violent video games. They're not handling that bullshit that Bush started over in Afghanistan. They're not handling that real well. They're not handling that real well. And they don't even get to walk around the country like we did in Vietnam. And these young soldiers, many of them are bastards, didn't come from intact homes. What the fuck they care about other people ain't shit, which was also part of the program. So they have no shortage of Americans who would kill other Americans. And these are the people that your militia are going to have to protect Americans from. And this includes my nephews who wear badges. And you're so goddamn policy driven, you're blinder than a fuck. Especially you. You should know goddamn better. There are other Americans, you fuckwad. You dipshit. There are other fucking Americans. What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Because because you in a goddamn costume? You carry a badge and a gun. You'll kill another American just for what the fuck, huh? Really? Well, you see, back in the old days, back in the bad old days, even among your aunts and uncles here, what we knew was a day might come. And when that day came, what we knew was some of us were going to have to go too. We were going to have to take some of our own out. Don't you be one of them motherfuckers who have to go just because you wear a goddamn badge and a gun. What the fuck is wrong with you? They're helpless goddamn Americans. They have to try to fight this bullshit that they living under, this goddamn democracy. And then they have to be worried because of your bully ass. Really? You're no stronger than that, huh? As a man. You're no stronger than that, huh? You have to give in to your boyish motherfucking tendencies to be the boss of somebody? The fuck is wrong with you? They are other defenseless Americans. And these are the people you get off on fucking over, huh? Well, let me tell you the rest of the story, nephew. You're carrying badges and guns. Let me give you the rest of this fucking story. On the day you get your orders to go through the town or the city, marshaling people to a specific area, it'll probably be the goddamn railroad station. And you marshal the people there, that'll be your marshaling area. And when their number's called, they get on these goddamn boxcars. And you stand there as a part of this bullshit. And you got no feelings about what the fuck you're looking at and what you helped to create. Well, when the last person is put on that last car and that train pulls out at 8:30, guess what, nephew? When that train comes back at 3, it'll be coming back for you. You see, your job is done. You've gotten the people out of their way. What fucking use do they have for you now? And that's when you will begin to see foreign soldiers. And they'll just walk up to you. They won't say shit to you. And take your gun out of the holster. Take your badge. And your goddamn chief and supervisors will be standing right the fuck there watching. Watching. What the fuck do you think you're gonna gain by fucking up other Americans? I'm gonna tell you what you're doing, and you're doing it to yourself. You see, with your so-called fucking job, because there is no goddamn job as police officer. Well, let me get this straight with you first. You are not a goddamn police officer. It's a fucking oxymoron, you idiot. You're not a goddamn police officer. And for those of you who have been in the military, have you ever been told to police up an area by the goddamn DI and he gave you a gun and a motherfucking badge and a radio to do it? What the fuck does police mean? You know what police means, and it ain't got a goddamn thing to do with no badges and motherfucking guns. And let me share with you why you're not a goddamn officer. You represent no fucking office. The only office there is in law enforcement is the office of the sheriff. His deputies are the only officers there are because they serve an office. That is who an officer is. Your ass is not a fucking police officer. There's no such goddamn job title, and you damn sure represent no fucking office. Only a sheriff's deputy represents an office. So now that we've established you're not a goddamn police officer, grow some fucking balls in the goddamn spine. And stop being a punk-ass pussy motherfucker firing on goddamn unarmed civilians and American civilians. But enough about that, nephew. Y'all straighten them motherfuckers out. But I'm going to tell you, because you wear them damn costumes and them badges and guns. I'm going to warn you again. Don't be one of them motherfuckers that the militia comes after because you gunned down innocent, unarmed fucking Americans because you were told to and you were getting a check. Because I'm going to tell you, the checks are going to stop when them foreign military troops put your ass on that train at 3. Yeah. They're coming to put your ass on there. They ain't got no more fucking use for you. You done cleared out the people. You've done your job. You did the grunt work. You did the shit work. As only you are expected to do, you fool motherfuckers. You fool motherfuckers. The fuck is wrong with you? I told you, you're as fucked up as your Asiatic aunts and uncles are. You really are. You're just as fucked up as they are. Well, you got no more time to be fucked up. It's time to get up, buck up, and ruck up, because you're at war. But along with this message, nephew, I need you to understand one thing. One thing. I need you to unfuck yourself most rickety and DD down the motherfucking road to unity. Because I've told you before, and I will tell you again, love is the only Savior. Love is the only savior. You got nothing left to hate. You've hated everything there was to hate up to now. You got nothing else. Same thing goes for your aunts and your uncles. Because they're just as fucked up as you. They want to hate you. What the fuck? And some of you want to hate them. What the fuck? Do you know how easy you are making it for those who want to end America? Do you have any goddamn idea how easy you are making it for them? Their flag is already flying like this all over your motherfucking land, all over America. The symbol is, we're at war with you. What the fuck is it that you're not seeing? What the fuck is it that you're not seeing? But that's it, nephew. Heed my words and learn from the real story that I shared with you in the prior video, your origins. What you are now is a progression from there. And because you've become amalgamated by Greater Mauritania, you are amalgamated Moors. So you can stop going by your skin color bullshit, because even your skin ain't fucking white. I shared with you how you became labeled white men. It's a goddamn label. And you didn't get the motherfucker till 1868, because you were known by your nationalities before then. God damn. Fucking wise up, nephew. Get the bullshit out of your head. And get survival and the maintaining of the American way of life once it is reestablished for the good and for the betterment of America and Americans. Be patriotic about that. Don't be patriotic toward the fucking United States. It ain't doing shit for you. And you ain't fucking figured that out yet. But rather than be disappointed in you, I'd rather teach you. So, until the next session, nephew, brothers and sisters, I bid you peace. Take care.